For the second day in Orange County, a car running from police is suspected of causing a fatal crash. Anaheim police say this multi-car collision at Anaheim Boulevard and Lincoln Avenue was caused by a silver Infiniti that ran a red light. Police say they first encountered the Infiniti moments earlier, just a couple of blocks away.
This morning about 12:45 a.m., one of our officers saw a silver Infiniti sedan driving at a high rate of speed, driving erratically in the area of Harbor Boulevard and Cypress Street, which is about 2 blocks away. When our officers tried to catch up the vehicle, that driver turned off the lights and accelerated away at a high speed. Our officers never were able to catch up, never able to turn on the lights and sirens, so we were never actually engaged in a pursuit. But as we tried to catch up, they saw a collision here at this intersection of Anaheim Boulevard and Lincoln Avenue.
I came out of my truck and I saw the cop chasing this Infiniti. And then after like a few seconds, I heard the loud crash.
A passenger in that Infiniti was killed, as was the driver of a red car it collided with at the intersection. There were also multiple injuries, including to 2 teenage girls who were in the back seat of that Infiniti that police say ran the red light. The crash comes a day after this crash in San Clemente, where the driver of a U-Haul van, who was allegedly fleeing sheriff's deputies, crashed into a Mazda SUV, killing a woman and injuring others. Now, as for the victim in that San Clemente case, she has been identified as 53-year-old Maria Ramirez Ahmad, the driver of that U-Haul, which was suspected to be stolen out of Whittier, and a passenger taken into custody. As for the case here, as I mentioned a moment ago, we just got some new information. We're told that the front passenger who was in that silver Infiniti who passed away was a teenage boy, a juvenile. As for the person in the red car who died, we're told that person was a man. We don't have either of their names yet. As for the driver of that silver Infiniti and whether or not the driver will face charges, well, that depends. We're told that driver is a 19-year-old man. He's in condition now. Sure if he's going to make it. For now, reporting, I'm Chip Yost, KTLA 5 News.
We'll check back in. So in the Pacific Palisades, waiting for their homes to be rebuilt following last year's devastating wildfires. Those containers and place them outside their home have now been told they must be removed. KTLA's Angelique Cockade is live in the Pacific Palisades. Details. Hi.
Well, Lauren, we actually just spoke with Mayor Bass about the situation here in the Palisades. She said right now the notice is on until they can get to the here behind me. These types of these shipping containers, if you will, that are parked in front of homes, but also on the street. Driving by right now, get by. They have people, other residents, and towing trucks and things like that not being able to get through. Yesterday, there was a notice that homeowners, they had 48 hours or they would be towed, and the owners would also be charged. Now, KTLA, the company that rents out a lot of containers, they confirmed with us they also received the notice from several homes in the area. Now, again, all this comes, as you said, as people are trying to get their lives back. We've been trying to talk to some homeowners here to get a sense of how they're feeling about this notice. But today, Bass sending this.
There's no massive towing that is taking place, but we are looking into that today. And everything needed to stop until we got to the bottom of what was happening.
Now the pause, maybe a little bit of relief for those homeowners that do have those bins in front of their homes, but it's not clear how long that pause will be for. For now, reporting live in the Pacific Palisades, Angelique Cockade, back over to you in Hollywood.
Angelique, thank you for that. Now to the war in Iran. There's optimism in the Trump administration that the war could soon be over. At the same time, more U.S. ground troops are arriving in the region. Samantha Cortese is live with more. Hi, Samantha.
Hi, Lauren. The markets are liking this news. The president he believes the Iran war is likely to end soon, and he is considering ending the war without opening the Strait of Hormuz. In fact, he says it would open automatically. The president spoke to the Post over the phone, telling the outlet, "We have to be there much longer, but we have more work to do in terms of killing their offensive, whatever offensive capability they have left. He shared this on social media of the United States striking a massive and resulted in Isfahan, the location of one of Iran's main nuclear sites. The president told the world the goal was to make sure Iran won't have a nuclear weapon, and he says the U.S. has succeeded in that goal. CENTCOM provided this update today, saying Iran's defense systems are gone.
We don't see their Navy sailing, we don't see their aircraft flying, and their air defense and missile defense systems have largely been destroyed. Despite clear dominance, our forces remain vigilant.
More than 50,000 U.S. troops are reportedly in the region, including 1,000 men and women who Camp Pendleton. That's according to the San Diego Union Tribune. Some military observers say by this weekend, the U.S. will have enough ground force in the region to begin to limit strategic special operations should the president give that order. President Trump also told the Post other nations can reopen the Strait of Hormuz without U.S. military assistance. Today, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reiterated countries they think needs to step up.
President Trump's been willing to do the heavy lifting on behalf of the free world to address this threat of Iran. It's not just our problem set going forward, even though we have done the lion's share of preparation to ensure that that strait will be open, which is an outcome the president's been very clear on.
Here at home, following increased drone sightings, the Pentagon is considering using lasers to defend Fort McNair. In D.C., on which Secretary Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio live. That, according to New York Times, drone sightings have prompted concern over two high-ranking national security at a time when the U.S. is at war. Reports the FAA, the Pentagon, all are still discussing how to use that technology carefully. And Lauren, for updates this hour, the IRGC, Iran's military, has now advised employees of companies in the Middle East to leave the workplace immediately. They noted 18 companies, Apple, Google, Meta. The IRGC says it plans to target those firms tomorrow morning at 9:30 hour time. We're also tracking reports of a journalist kidnapped by Iran-backed terror group in Iraqi officials say someone is in custody. This has not been found. We will continue to follow all of today's developments. Lauren, we'll see you at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, some major updates there, Sam. Thanks. King Charles will visit the U.S. late next month. The visit follows President Trump's state visit to the U.K. back in September. It featured a lavish state dinner. President Trump said earlier today the King's visit will also include a state dinner at the White House. The trip will celebrate the 250th anniversary of American independence. Buckingham Palace and President Trump say it'll also reinforce the close ties between the two nations. King Charles visited the U.S. 19 times, but it will be the first state visit here as king. He will also deliver an address to Congress. The trip is set for April 27th. All right, let's get a check of the weather. Olga, have a change, Olga. It is being in at least
exactly. It has been a very unusual March. The last day of March, we're finally getting more of our typical weather here in Southern California with the clouds, the cooler temperatures, and even a little bit of rain as we head later today. So you can see that cloud cover really no matter where you are. Start a few scattered showers as we head into late afternoon, and then more so as we head into the clock hour. Again, a few scattered showers are starting to develop, so not a huge impact on that evening. More so as we head into 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock hour, we'll start to see a little bit more rain developing. That's going to continue until about 8, 9 o'clock. As we head into later in the night, by 11 o'clock, we're still seeing some rain. And then overnight, we start to see that mostly confined towards the Coachella Valley into San Diego County. And the rest of us are seeing some drier conditions. As you wake up on Wednesday, you could see a stray shower or two, but not expecting a whole lot of wet weather. Just some cool temperatures tomorrow also. Currently feeling upper 60s from LAX into Riverside, Coima at 64, low 70s, Fullerton. The temperature is pretty close time of year, but it is a big drop from what we were feeling this yesterday. So we're going to continue temperatures today with 70s daytime highs. We haven't seen this quite some time. We're looking at upper 60s in Thousand Oaks as well as Pasadena. 70s through parts of the Inland Empire from Corona into San Bernardino, Lake Elsinore, and upper 60s San Clemente and Lancaster. Here's a check of the winds. We're seeing some breezy conditions across some of our high locations, across some of our mountain areas in the double digits, but winds will start to intensify as we head into Wednesday too, as that pressure moves to north. Most of that is going to stay to our north, but we're feeling the impacts with the winds and the cool temperatures and a little bit of rain. So we'll continue taking a look at our futurecast for the winds and then some changes by the weekend. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren.
Olga, thanks. And still ahead here at noon, a look at your top stories, including Kizzy Kang.
I hear. And we're live here at the LA King